Have you ever found yourself setting the same goal year after year, only to realize you're still in the same place? You know exactly what to do. You've read the books, watched the videos, maybe even taught others about discipline and visualization. Yet somehow, you haven't done the thing. It's frustrating, isn't it? But what if the real problem isn't your motivation or your willpower? What if you've been trying to convince a part of your brain that simply doesn't listen to convincing? Today, we're going to explore why your brain might be lying to you, and why that's actually good news. Let's get honest for a moment. Most people think the subconscious mind is some mystical force, a hidden power waiting to be unlocked with the right vision board or affirmation. But the truth is, your subconscious is more like an autopilot system. It's built from repetition, not intention. Every belief you hold about money, worth, or success wasn't chosen. It was installed. Installed by family dinners, offhand comments from teachers, and thousands of small moments that taught you what was safe and what wasn't. Your conscious mind sets goals, but your subconscious runs the code. Think about it. When your conscious mind and your subconscious disagree, the subconscious always wins. That's not a character flaw, it's just how you're wired. This is why positive thinking alone often fails. You can't outfirm a belief system that's been building for decades. Telling yourself, I am wealthy, while your gut screams, people like us don't get to be wealthy, doesn't rewire anything. It just adds noise to the signal. The subconscious is running the show quietly and powerfully. Every belief you have about yourself, your abilities, your limits, your worth, wasn't something you consciously chose. It was shaped by the world around you, often without you even realizing it. Maybe it was a parent's warning, a teacher's advice to be realistic, or the subtle messages you picked up from your environment. These beliefs became your operating system, quietly influencing every decision you make. And when you try to override them with willpower alone, you're fighting a losing battle. You've probably heard that you should just think positive or repeat affirmations to change your life. But if your subconscious is running on old programming, those affirmations are just surface noise. Real change doesn't happen by shouting new beliefs over old ones. It happens by understanding and updating the code that's running in the background. That means getting curious about where your beliefs came from and how they're influencing you today. Let me share a story that changed how I think about all this. I once coached someone who was sharp, capable, and should have been years ahead. Every plan they made was solid, but things always fell apart right when success was within reach. We traced it back to a single sentence they'd heard growing up. People like us just get by. Not meant to be cruel, not even memorable to the person who said it, but repeated enough times to become their default setting. So whenever success got close, something inside would quietly sabotage it. Here's the thing, self-sabotage rarely looks like self-sabotage. It often looks like getting busy or the timing not being right. The subconscious doesn't announce itself. It just quietly steers you away from what feels unsafe, even if that's success. These patterns are so ingrained that they feel like reality, not choices. Recognizing this is the first step toward real change. So how do you actually change the code instead of just shouting louder at it? The answer isn't mystical, it's practical. You don't need crystals or vision boards. You need to understand how your subconscious works and start speaking its language, repetition, and proof. Let's break down 3 practical shifts you can make to start changing your subconscious programming. First shift is to catch the sentence, not just the feeling. Most of us try to manage our emotions in the moment, stay positive, don't panic, but that's just managing the weather. What you really want is to catch the sentence underneath. Next time you feel that flinch of I can't do this, pause and ask yourself, whose voice is that really? Most of the time, it's not even yours. It's inherited. Naming it as inherited, not true, is the first crack in its authority. Second shift is to remember that evidence beats affirmation. Your subconscious isn't convinced by declarations, but it is convinced by proof. If you want to believe you're capable, don't just say it, stack small, undeniable proof. Instead of saying, I am disciplined, do one uncomfortable thing today that a disciplined person would do. Then log it. Real belief isn't announced into existence. It's built one demonstrated fact at a time. Your brain trusts receipts, not slogans. The third shift is to rehearse the after, not just the before. Most visualization advice stops at picturing the win. But your subconscious needs to rehearse what you'll do when things get tough, the moment right before you'd normally quit. Picture that exact moment specifically, and see yourself doing the next right thing anyway. That's the rep that actually transfers to real life, because that's the moment that actually happens. Let's be clear, none of this is fast. Anyone who tells you that 30 years of programming can be rerouted in a week is selling you something. But this approach is reliable, because you're not fighting your subconscious anymore, you're finally speaking its actual language. Change comes from repetition and proof, not from wishful thinking. Here, what I want you to do today, not eventually, not when you're ready. Find one sentence, one inherited belief that's been quietly steering you about money, about being too much or not enough, about who gets to succeed. Write it down. Then write down where you think it actually came from. That's it. You're not fixing it today. You're just finally looking at the steering wheel instead of the road. Your subconscious isn't your enemy, and it isn't magic either. It's just a very old employee running on very old instructions, ones you never actually approved. You don't need to think positive. You need to catch what you're already thinking, ask where it came from, and start handing it new evidence. That's how real change begins. If you do this consistently, catching your thoughts, questioning their origin, and providing new evidence, you won't need to convince yourself you've changed. One day, you'll simply notice that you already have. Change isn't about force, it's about understanding and gentle, repeated action. Repetition is the language of the subconscious. Every time you act in alignment with your new beliefs, you're reinforcing new pathways in your brain. It's not about perfection, it's about persistence. Over time, these small actions add up to big changes. Remember, your brain trusts proof, not positivity. When you show yourself evidence of your capability, your subconscious starts to believe it. This is how you build real confidence, not by repeating slogans but by stacking undeniable facts. Don't underestimate the power of small wins. Each time you do something a little outside your comfort zone, you're sending a message to your subconscious. Things are changing. Celebrate these moments, no matter how minor they seem. Every time you catch an old story playing in your mind, pause and question it. Is this really true? Or is it just an old tape playing on repeat? The more you challenge these stories, the less power they have over you. Many of the voices in your head aren't even yours. They're echoes from your past, parents, teachers, society. When you recognize these voices as inherited, you can start to separate your true self from the noise. Try naming the voice when you hear it. Is it your mother's caution, your teacher's warning, or society's expectation? Giving it a name helps you see it for what it is, just a voice, not the truth. As you start to recognize and challenge old beliefs, you make space for new ones. Building new beliefs isn't about force, it's about gentle repetition and real-life evidence. Over time, these new beliefs become your new default. Keep a simple log of your small wins. Each time you do something that aligns with your new beliefs, write it down. This log becomes your proof, a growing list of evidence that you're changing, one step at a time. Don't wait for a massive breakthrough to celebrate. Every step forward is worth acknowledging. Celebrating progress reinforces your new beliefs and motivates you to keep going. When you visualize, don't just picture the win. Picture the hard moments, the times you'd usually quit. See yourself moving through those moments, doing the next right thing. That's the practice that prepares you for real life. It's not about practicing until you're perfect. It's about practicing until your new responses become automatic. The more you rehearse the right actions, the more natural they become. Change often feels uncomfortable. That's a sign you're moving beyond your old programming. Embrace the discomfort as evidence that you're growing. It means you're doing the work that matters. Awareness is the foundation of change. The more aware you are of your thoughts and beliefs, the more power you have to change them. Start by simply noticing what's running in the background of your mind. Don't take your thoughts at face value. Question them. Where did this belief come from? Is it serving you or holding you back? The more you question, the more you can choose what stays and what goes. Your subconscious trusts what it sees repeatedly. The more you act in alignment with your new beliefs, the more your subconscious accepts them as reality. Trust is built through consistent action. You don't have to get it right every time. Progress is messy. What matters is that you keep showing up, keep practicing, and keep building new evidence for your subconscious to trust. Every step you take is part of your journey. Celebrate the process, not just the outcome. The journey is where real growth happens and where your new beliefs are forged. One day, you'll look back and realize you've changed. Not because you forced it, but because you consistently acted in alignment with your new beliefs. Change sneaks up on you when you're focused on the process. Your subconscious isn't out to get you. It's just following old instructions. When you start giving it new ones, it becomes your ally. Work with it, not against it, and you'll be amazed at what you can achieve. Think of your subconscious as an old employee who's been following the same instructions for years. It's time to update those instructions. Be patient, be consistent, and watch as your life starts to shift. You don't need to persuade your subconscious with words. Show it proof. Every small action is a piece of evidence that things are different now. Over time, the evidence becomes undeniable. Stack your wins, no matter how small. Each one is a building block for your new reality. The more wins you stack, the stronger your new beliefs become. Remember, this is a long game. Real change takes time. Be patient with yourself and trust the process. Every day you practice, you're moving closer to the person you want to become. Trust that the process works, even when you can't see immediate results. Change is happening beneath the surface. Keep showing up, keep practicing, and let the results unfold in their own time. Everyone has old programming to overcome. You're not alone in this journey. The more you share your experiences and learn from others, the easier it becomes to rewrite your story. Surround yourself with people who support your growth. Positive influences can help reinforce your new beliefs and keep you motivated when things get tough. Celebrate the progress of others as well as your own. Seeing others succeed can reinforce the belief that change is possible for you too. Success is contagious. Stay curious about your thoughts and beliefs. Curiosity opens the door to change. The more you explore your inner world, the more opportunities you'll find to grow. Embrace the journey of self-discovery and growth. Every step, every challenge, every small win is part of your story. The journey is just as important as the destination. And finally, remember, you don't have to convince yourself you've changed. If you do the work, one day you'll simply notice that you already have. That's the power of working with your subconscious, not against it.